Hello everyone, this is our project on retrieval augmented generation based question answering based on the novels. Um, so this is our UI. It's a pretty elementary UI, but it has all the features in it. So we have a chit chat model as well as a retrieval augmented question answering model, which is in turn calling an API to open AI's ChatGPT. Let us start a new conversation. And the model has the intelligence to distinguish between a chit chat and a question answer based utterance. So if I start off by just saying hi to it, such as hi, how are you? The model is going to turn to the chit chat model in order to respond to our query or our utterance. And here you see the bot says, I'm doing well. How are you this evening? Do you have any plans? And this bot has an inbuilt historical memory with it. So if I say, I am doing good, thinking of going out for a walk, what are your plans? So it is going to respond with its own set of plans. And in the backend, we have what we call a zero-shot classifier, which is able to classify a chit chat or a small talk kind of utterance from a more concrete utterance, which is about some sort of questions from any of the novels. So if I write something like, I'm not familiar with a lot of these novels, but let's say, did Juliet drink the poison? The model should be able to distinguish that this particular query is from the book Romeo and Juliet, and the bot says that yes, Juliet drank a potion that made her appear dead in Sherlock's play Romeo and Juliet, which checks out. This is entirely accurate. And let's say if I ask a question like, where did Sherlock and Dr. Watson live? It is again going to recognize this as a question answering prompt, and it's going to give you an answer directly from one of the novels in its database. And it says Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson lived at 221 Baker Street. Just to put things in context, the database over here is a vector store, which essentially means that whatever documents we have is going to be stored in terms of some kind of embeddings, which the model, searches for in terms of similarity with respect to our utterance, and hence produce generated response to our question. So if we ask some question about Moby Dick, maybe, so what kind of a whale was Moby Dick? It should come back with the answer that it was a sperm whale. Yeah, it checks out. So it tells you from which novel this question is being asked and that it was a sperm whale. And we can go about asking it questions from multiple novels as well. So that's one of the other beauties of this application that we have created. So if I ask it a very interesting question, that would Sherlock have been able to figure out that Juliet would wake up after drinking the poison? Let's see what it responds. Yeah, so it pulls out both the documents, which would be from the Sherlock Holmes as well as Juliet, Romeo and Juliet, and it says that based on the context provided, which would be the context from both the documents, it is not possible to determine where Sherlock would have been able to figure out that Juliet would wake up after drinking the poison. And we can go about making these conversations more interesting. And maybe bring in a couple of more novels into it. Let's say we can ask it that uh, did Alice find a whale named Moby Dick in the Wonderland? And let's see what comes up with. Right. So it gives you a very elaborate and knowledgeable answer. It says that no, Alice did not find a whale named Moby Dick in Wonderland. The story of Moby Dick is a novel by Herman Melville, and it is not connected to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is actually true. These are from two different novels. So by using vector store kind of a database and vector-based retrievals, we are able to query multiple documents at the same time to ask questions which are from, which has context based on more than one document. And the way this application has been created, the fact that we are using LangChain, we have also created a prompt which constrains the model from hallucinating at all. So if it is really confused about something, it is just going to respond you with it does not know the answer to it rather than hallucinating about it. So let's try something like that. So word Sherlock Holmes till James More Moriarty. Let's see what comes of it. I'm not very sure whether um, Sherlock Holmes killed Moriarty in this particular novel. Ideally, he should not have. Let's see what the bot comes of it. So in the original Sherlock Holmes stories, written by Sherlock Holmes and James Moriarty had a fierce rivalry, and Holmes considered Moriarty to be one of the most dangerous criminals. However, in the final problem, Holmes and Moriarty are involved in a deadly confrontation at the falls, which checks out, and both are presumed dead, which is also true from the novel. It is important to note that Sherlock Holmes generally portrayed as a detective who upholds the law and seeks justice rather than a killer. So it gives you a very nice, rounded answer, and it does not hallucinate and assume facts. So this was the application. It can have a a really interesting, never-ending conversation with you, and still at the same time provide you with different um, correct answers. And the way our UI has been set up is that it keeps context of all the previous conversations. So I had a pretty interesting conversation back here where I asked multiple interesting questions from chat from the chat application, and you can see that the answers are really interesting and funny. So there was a question: would Moby Dick, the whale, have figured out what would it have done if it was Romeo and had seen Juliet drink the poison? So it tells you that Moby Dick is from a different um, a novel. It's about a whale, and Romeo and Juliet is from another novel, and they two. It cannot tell you exactly what would have been because the two do not match. And did James Moriarty try to capture Moby Dick? It again tells you that these two are from different novels, and that there was no connection or no mention of the particular action being of the particular scenario taking place. Apart from the conversations, we also have a dashboard, and this dashboard actually tells us about the of the entire conversation, what kind of queries were asked, how many queries were small talks, how many were from specific documents, and we can go about looking at specific conversations as well. So this is the conversation we had right now. So it gives you the response time as well as the context as well. So you see there are 2 questions that were asked from Moby Dick, 2 from Romeo and Juliet, 2 from Sherlock Holmes, and 2 small talks. The first 2 were small talks, and if you remember, we asked multiple questions which tried to refer to multiple documents at the same time. That's why we have so many referrals. And you can also have a look at the entire conversation that we have had over here, right? So, and this is the overall metric that we looked at. So this is the entire project that we created. We created it using LangChain, local LLM, which was BlenderBot, as well as an OpenAI API that helped us with the RAG, summarizations and answer generations. So that is it, and thank you.